Brazil, what's going on? And that's the question I ask myself when I stay up to watch them against Morocco and I see an underwhelming performance. When I stay up to watch them against Haiti and half an hour in, the score is 0-0. I think Brazil have been awful at this World Cup. And that's my opinion, but it's also based on the facts that I'm going to present to you in this video. The tactical analysis that I'm going to give you of why Ancelotti and Brazil, if they change nothing, they are not going past the round of 32. And I'm going to go straight into it because I'm really disappointed in Brazil because this isn't Brazil. This isn't the Brazil that I grew up watching and that generations before me grew up watching. But what's the actual problems? What's happening that's causing this? Well, if we analyze, and I'm filming this video after their opening 2 group stage games, a 1-1 draw to Morocco and a 3-0 win over Haiti. Now, you expect a nation like Brazil to destroy Haiti by way more than 3-0. Now, I know football very well, being a UEFA A candidate. And I know that's not the reality, okay? You're not going to smash every team 7-0. But I've identified 4 key themes in Brazil's play. Now, the first one is their system is a 4-2-3-1, which is fine, but it's extremely passive, especially against teams that play a back 5. Let me tell you why. There is not enough overload. So having a winger, okay, and possibly an overlapping fullback, and you can see the image on the screen, creates out wide a 2v3 zone for Brazil, which means they have 2 against the defensive team's 3. They have their winger, possibly their fullback. But most teams against Brazil will play a 5 at the back. They'll play a 5-4-1 or even a 6-3-1 shape. What that means is that they have their outside centre-back coming across, the wing-back who's there, and the midfielder that's closest that comes in. And they box Brazil's wide players into this little triangle. So if it's Rafinha and Danilo, or Vinicius and whoever the other fullback is that go, it doesn't help. Now, if the 10 goes, so you might say, okay, well, what if Cunha goes, or if whoever the 10 is or the striker goes? But that's still a 3v3 in that sector of the pitch. So Brazil have failed in this World Cup to create any numerical advantage or overload in key sectors of the pitch where it matters. Secondly, their solo striker approach. I don't understand why João Pedro wasn't called up. I never will understand that. My guess is that as I'm recording this, Rafinha's injured and Neymar's coming back. So why don't you replace Rafinha with João Pedro? I don't understand it. Secondly, you're playing a 1 against 3 centre-backs. If your 10 joins as a second striker, so in moments you're playing a 4-2-4, or your fullbacks go up and you're playing a 2-4 shape, that's great. But you're still numerically underloaded. So Ancelotti, this is where he needs to make a decision, okay? And I'm going to give some solutions, and I'm going to compare it to the USA, to France, and England, and why I think they nailed these solutions. Pochettino in the US, what do? They played Australia with a back 5. So what did they do? They had their 2 strikers, that's 2 players. They had their 2 wing backs, that's 4 players. And they played with 2 10s. That's 6. That's 6v5 in their favor. That's something that Brazil and Ancelotti do not do because Brazil and Ancelotti are too defensively minded. And it leads me to this. They must press higher. In order to be in an overloading shape in possession, you have to be in a good shape out of possession. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Now, analyze the photos on the screen. They're in a mid-block, which is Ancelotti ball. He likes to play in a mid-block. Sorry, I'm going to take a quick drink. Playing in a mid-block is not going to get him the results that he needs because Brazil are not in a moment to press. Now, if you look at the second image, the proposed high press that I have on the screen, they are much closer in 2 different ways. In the distances between the lines and also to the opposition. And that allows them to force opponents away from goal. They trigger. They force the place wide. They can win the ball back relentlessly. It's too passive. There's space for the opposition, even Haiti, to play. And that's the difference between, and I'll keep going back to USA because that's the previous video on my channel. And they're amazing at this. The high press, the counter press. As soon as they lose the ball, they're on it. And Brazil are not. And it's not good enough. Not good enough from Brazil. What would be my solution? Well, if I'm the Brazil manager, we do not play a back 4. We do not play a back 4. Why do I need 4 defenders there? For what? No. I play a back three. Okay? And we would have a 3-4-2-1 shape. Now, why? Let me tell you why. Firstly, automatically, because of our shape, I've now created a 3v2 overload in wide areas. Because I'm going to have my wing back, and I'm going to have the attacking 10 on that side. Maybe even the striker comes across, or it's the closest midfielder. And we have 3v2. But if the opposition decides to say, all right, well, in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to have our wing back, our centre back, and our midfielder come across, and it's 3v3. I'll say no. My wing back, my 10, my striker, and now I'm leaving the opposite 10 as my creative player. And one of the midfielders, you move your ass and you get in behind as well, and you make a third man run. Because that's what the USA do. They have that third man run into the channels, in between Van der Sar and Vinicius. That's the gap that you have to run into, where I've got the arrows pointed. And then I create a 4v3. And whatever the opposition do, we always have to have a +1. Is that risky? Yes, it is. But we're Brazil here. I'm not Haiti. I'm Brazil. I'm playing to win and to dominate and to entertain. We are here to play. I'm not here to have a laugh. And that's what I would do. Now, within this shape, there's a better counter pressing. Why? Very, very simple. My striker and 2-10's job is what? Press a centre-back each. 3v3 back. Go. My 2 wing-backs' job is what? Press a full-back each. Go. Simple. My 2 midfielders' job is what? Pick up their 2 midfielders. If they play 3 midfielders, one of the centre-backs, the middle one, step in. Step in, pick up their 10. And then we are playing essentially a 2-3-5 system out of possession. Yeah? And that is the difference. That's what I would do if I was the Brazil manager. So much more brave. I prefer watching it. It's so much more entertaining. And I'm not worrying as much on the touchline or stressing myself thinking about this mid-block. Just go after them. What's the worst case that Haiti's going to do? They're not going to score against us. They're not going to score against us, guys. Let's go for it. Let's have a little bit. Look at that team. Vinicius, Endrick, Rafinha. You're missing Neymar, by the way, who's been injured also. There's 4 players that will win you the game single-handedly against Haiti. And we didn't see any of that. You've got Cunha as well. João Pedro should have been in this lineup. There's so many options. And Brazil haven't done it. So this is personally what I would do. And my big quote, structure creates freedom for talent. I give the players a structure. Within that structure, they have freedom. In a 4-2-3-1 mid-block, there is no freedom. There's nothing. It's such a boring system. And I've made some short videos about this already, about the 4-3-3. It's not going to win you titles. It's not. It's simply not going to. And I'll put my hands on it and say, if Brazil played the USA, USA win. USA win for a multitude of reasons. And this is partly why. So the 3 teams that I think have been the best at this World Cup from a tactical perspective has been France, England, and the US. All 3 play a different system. All 3 play a different system. France play a 4-2-3-1. USA play a 3-4-2-1, even a 3-5-2. And England play a 4-3-3, sometimes a 4-1-4-1. Okay? But if we look at pressing intensity, Brazil's the lowest. Wide overloads, Brazil's the lowest. Rest defense, combination play, tactical flexibility, Brazil is the lowest. They have none of those things. They have none of those things. They have a squad and individual moments. But football's not one of moments. Moments are important, massively important. Because moments, and I said this before in a video, can change the direction of the game. But there's more to modern international football than moments. And you need more. And they don't have it. They don't have it. It's that simple. So are they contenders or are they pretenders? You tell me in the comments. Talent isn't the problem, tactics is. And I'm not blaming Ancelotti. He's a better coach than me. Of course he is. But football's a game of opinion. I'm allowed my opinion as an A licensed coach. He's allowed his opinion as a pro licensed coach. And regardless of people's levels, we're all entitled to an opinion. And we're allowed to share why we think certain things. If I had a conversation with Ancelotti, I'd say this to him, but then he'd have a counter argument. He has a reason why he plays the way he plays. And the reason is, and this is my slide, the whole point is, despite underperformance and poor tactical showings, Ancelotti proved with Madrid, never say never. He knows how to win knockout football even when this team is not playing well. Even when they are meant to be out of the game. Look at their comeback against Man City in 90-plus minutes when they got back in the game. That's my point, right? So he knows that playing this can win Brazil the World Cup, even if it's not performing well. And ultimately, if he wins the World Cup, you can take this video and every single person can give me a thumbs down because it's bollocks what I said. It doesn't matter anymore because he won the World Cup. But if he doesn't, then he's got a lot of questions to answer. And that's football. That's our careers. Huh? Everything is always to answer. I do have some big concerns. I think their tactical identity is too passive. I don't think they press well enough and intensely enough. And I don't think there's enough numerical overloads in their system so that when they're not going to play Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Eventually, when they go to the round of 32, the round of 16, the quarterfinal, they will face much, much better teams. And playing in this way, I don't see them going far. I really, really don't. So let's have a look at their road to the final. And using Opta analysis and my own slide design, Blue Gaffer FC, this is what I came up with. Round of 32, most likely opponents. So now when you're looking at that, you're probably thinking to yourself, they are going to go through. They might play Cape Verde, might play Curacao, might play Austria, I don't know. They're most likely going to go through. Round of 16 is the exact same thing. Most likely it is to be Uruguay. Okay? Why has he got Denmark in there? I don't even think Denmark qualified. That's an error. Anyway, Uruguay. Quarterfinal, Netherlands, Germany, Belgium. Semi-final, France, England, Argentina. Final, France or Spain. For me, quarterfinal is the most they go to. They'll be very lucky if they reach a semi-final. Because talent can win you games, but improvement can win you tournaments. They need the return of Neymar Jr. They need more use of Endrick. And it's my opinion, as a professional football coach, as someone who's been at this level before, still is, that naivety to not change will be Brazil's downfall. And don't think I'm hate watching Brazil. I love Brazil. They've won the World Cup 5 times. I want Brazil to be the best team. I want the entertaining Brazil because they have the players still. It's not like they don't. Vinicius, Rafinha, Neymar, Endrick. They have the players. Mateus Cunha, João Pedro. They still have the creative forwards. There's 6 that are listed. A fantastic goalkeeper in Alisson. Marquinhos and Gabriel, 2 very experienced centre-backs. Guimarães, Casemiro, and Fabinho, a good trio experienced midfield. I would say they're lacking in fullbacks, which is why I would play with the wing-backs to get rid of the problem of fullbacks. Now we've got wing-backs. We're more attacking instantly. But I just don't think they have enough to go any further than that. So that's my opinion. Let me know yours. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Start an argument in the comments. It's a positive argument. I'll reply back. Everyone can have their opinion. As long as we're respectful, we respect each other's opinions. That's what it's all about. And that's what my channel is all about. Welcome to the Blue Gaffer FC. Guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do subscribe and like the video. And I will see you on my next video, which is a breakdown of yet another team and nation. See you then.